Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy, I Sleep Too Late. And in this video, we are facing off against another Battle Maison opponent. We are playing with White Kyurem, a very menacing Pokemon indeed. And we are giving it the awesome ability Parental Bond. Now, Parental Bond in Gen 6 does 50% damage in its second hit. So it hits twice. The second hit deals 50 damage, so it's basically like a choice specs for special attackers. And of course, we've got the mixed because it is a very powerful Mon. We're going to use Blizzard here. This should be pretty straightforward, especially in Hail. It's going to do a lot of damage. It just happened that the Abomasnow gave us Hail, which means that Blizzard is like 100% accurate, I believe. So we got really lucky there. This Pokemon does have Wide Lens, which means it will have a higher chance of hitting with its less accurate moves. And of course, we've got the dynamic duo, the dreaded Super Fang and Seismic Toss for that guaranteed 2-hit KO. In case you don't know, in every game pretty much, even against Blissey, those two combinations is a 2-hit KO. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started with the next opponent. This is a really, really good set. I'm really happy about it. Of course, you know, we don't get to use dual stab here in the sense that we don't get another drag. We could use a dragon move, but then we lose out on the Super Fang Seismic Toss combination. The Seismic Toss combination is mainly for anything that is super bulky and is not a ghost type. Anything that is otherwise a ghost, we can hit with either Blizzard or you know, Sacred Fire. We're gonna use, okay, Mold Breaker is not an issue. We're gonna use Sacred Fire here. That should be enough to KO this Excadrill. Oof. Oh, burned. Nice. So we end up getting the burn here, which means Excadrill should get knocked out. Unfortunately, Excadrill did survive long enough to set up a Sandstorm, but that shouldn't be an issue for us because we're, you know, pretty bulky, and I think we should be able to survive a couple of hits from Pokemon regardless. Let's use... let's just use Blizzard. I think that'll be good enough. Dynamic Punch. Wow, look at that. Super effective. How did that outspeed us? Oh, this is a Choice Scarf. This is a Choice Scarf, Machamp. Okay, well, that is going to be an issue. Let's bring out Kyogre so that we can be better at Choice Scarfing than our opponent, and we also nullify the Sandstorm. Wow, Machamp with no guard. Just an insane Mon, of course. But we're going to be better. We're going to use Water Spout here, and we're going to have no problem finishing this off. I think that White Kyurem is really good. Obviously, you know, anything that outspeeds it can give us an issue, but we can always protect that or cover our weaknesses with Kyogre. Wow, Rhyperior with Focus Sash. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but we should have no problems here moving forward. And yeah, let's take a look at what our next opponent is going to be like. We're moving through this lightning speed. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, well, let's see what we got. So in case you don't know, you probably already know this, but I've been flip-flopping between all the different generations. This Showcasing Hackmons series has been mainly focused on Gens 4, 5, 6, and 7 because those are the DS/3DS games. All right, sorry about that. You didn't miss much. Carbing just protected itself. But we're going to use Super Fang here and try to at least 3-hit KO this Carbink. That could be an issue, but, you know, Power Gem is super effective. Barely did anything to us because we are very bulky. And, yeah, we're going to finish this off with Seismic Toss. Very, very good combination. Basically all around superstar. And against Cradily, I think we're just going to use Blizzard. Blizzard should be good enough to... Oh, it missed. Yeah, I was going to say Blizzard is not the best move, but it should be good enough here. We missed again? No. All right, well, that's unfortunate. We do get knocked out here, but we're going to bring out the big guns. We're going to bring out Groudon. And yeah, Sacred Fire should be good enough to KO the Cradily. Let's go ahead and use Sacred Fire here. Doesn't matter whether we use Sacred Fire or 1,000 Arrows, either one. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect White Kyurem to be like the best solo Pokemon. I have a test where like I see if a Pokemon can beat the entire. We usually try to aim for 7 battles. If not, then it's fine. We can do less if it takes longer. But I have a little test to see if Pokemon will be able to solo the entire set of opponents without getting knocked out or without having to switch. So far, all of our Pokemon have been really doing poorly on that front because there are so many good opponents and so many weaknesses and checks, even when you're facing against opponents that don't have Hackmons, of course. But I personally like playing with my Hackmons. Alright, so we got White Kyurem here with our Parental Bond, and we're just going to use Sacred Fire here. This should be an easy KO. Oh wow, and no burn here, so we got an unfortunate, but I should be fine. We should still be able to do some good here. Let's see if we can use Sacred Fire. Okay, good. I was afraid we were going to miss. Thankfully we didn't. Oh, actually, you know what? We can't miss because we have Wide Lens. Cool. Yeah, that's the one good thing about Wide Lens. Actually, Wide Lens is not like the best move, the best item to hold, but Super Fang is also 90% accurate, by the way, so it does help a lot. Alright, cool. We get the KO here. Easy KO. People forget that Kyurem has 120 attack physical, so it is a pretty strong Mon. And even with a 4 EV investment, it's still like good enough because of the boost from Parental Bond. Oh, whoa, what was that? Oh, it had a Citrus Berry. I didn't realize that Citrus Berry recovered immediately in between attacks like that. Unfortunately, we did get knocked out again, so we're going to have to bring out the big guns. Actually, let's bring out Kyogre. I think Kyogre should be good enough to KO the Beartic. Plus, we're going to... Not that we won't outspeed it with Groudon, but I think we're going to outspeed it for sure with Choice Scarf. And let's just get this water spout out of the way. Easy dubs. And yeah, there you have it. Parental Bond Kyurem doing work. Let's move on here. Battle number 26. Let's go. Facing off against Beauty Bunny. What a name. Alright, facing off against Empoleon. I don't know if we have any good moves against this. I think like Sacred Fire is the only thing that does like neutral damage. So we're just gonna use Super Fang and go for the easy 2-hit KO. There are counters to Super Fang and Seismic Toss, like if somebody has a Citrus Berry, for example, like we saw before, or if they have, I don't know if Leftovers would necessarily do the trick, but I'm sure Citrus Berry might potentially cause a problem, especially with like Blissey, but like nobody uses those things, right? So we're gonna use Super Fang again because I'm pretty sure Starmie resists all our other moves. And yeah, I mean, the good thing about this Kyurem is that it's bulky enough that it can pretty much survive most things. The only downside is, of course, it's got 95 speed, which is not very fast, all things considered. But let's use Super Fang again. So yeah, it turns out that Super Fang and Seismic Toss is the easy combination to use across like most Pokemon, but like especially water types because they resist both our fire and our ice moves, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Wow, Slowbro has a lot of HP. We had to attack twice with the Seismic Toss. And yeah, let's keep going here. Wasting no time. Alright, sorry about that. We just got cut off a bit. We're going to move on to our next opponent here. Worker Arnau. Is that how you pronounce it? Arnau? They've been using a lot of names that I'm not familiar with. I'm sure people are named these, have these names, and I just don't know how to pronounce them correctly. So I do apologize if your name is Arnau. We're going to use Sacred Fire here. That should be a quad weakness. We don't even need to worry about the second hit. We've got a Parental Bond Kyurem-White here, in case you don't know. I did have to reset the video, so I do apologize for that. Carbuncle. Let's just use Super Fang and Seismic Toss. I know that this thing is going to resist most of our moves, so we're not going to take any risks here. Focus Blast. That barely did anything, even though it was super effective. We're going to use Seismic Toss here to finish this off. Nice. And let's see what else we got here. Whiscash. So we're going to have to do the same thing we did last time with Super Fang and Seismic Toss. This is a very menacing combination of moves, by the way. Seismic Toss and Super Fang was one of the reasons why they had to ban Parental Bond from balanced Hackmons in Gen 6, and I believe in Gen 7 as well. So it is a very powerful combination. It does require you to 2-hit KO, very similar to Lock On Sheer Cold, but unlike Lock On and Sheer Cold, like Super Fang alone does a lot. It just basically turns your HP into quarter. So, or not into a quarter, but like divides it by 4 basically. All right, facing off against our last opponent for the day. And we are facing off against Challenger Tourist Florence with an Excelgor. Of course, Excelgor is quite fast, so we have to be mindful of that. We're going to use our super secret tech, Sacred Fire. Not really super secret, but it does mean we get a 75% chance to burn our opponent, and we've got Wide Lens, so it doesn't miss. Oh, nice. And it hung on with Focus Sash, but it doesn't matter too much because Parental Bond is just that good. I think that Parental Bond might just be insane. The fact that it can, you know, stop like Focus Sashers and stuff like that is pretty relevant. Let's use Blizzard here. I think we should be okay. Oh no, we got knocked out by the sock. Is that how you pronounce it? Sock? Alright, well, anyway, let's just let's bring out the big guns here. We're gonna bring out Kyogre with the Choice Scarf. Sock might be fast, but it's not fast enough. And let's get the Rain out and use Water Spout. Hopefully the next Pokemon is not going to resist water, because that would be unfortunate. But even if it did a little bit, we should be fine. Flossless, not a problem. We should outspeed it with our Choice Scarf. And that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.